The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there.
People saying I'm canceling my trip to Disney, I'm canceling my Hulu, my Disney Plus. $4 billion in 4 days. Bravo, America. And this is how much power we have. And don't let them tell you we don't.
The president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes, he says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC.
Well, he is a cruel, criminal, and mentally unstable man. And Duty to Warn was a book that came out when he was first in office. Psychiatrists across the country who don't ever really diagnose people that they don't serve personally came together and made a book, Duty to Warn, to tell the world what a narcissistic, mentally ill person.
Trump has always imagined himself as the center of the universe. But leave it to Jimmy Kimmel and Rosie O'Donnell to remind everyone that the center of the universe is usually a black hole, sucking in everything around it and spitting out nonsense. The current president struts across the stage like a man auditioning for the role of world leader in a high school play, and somehow still manages to forget his lines.
Have you been enjoying Trump's most ridiculous distraction from the Epstein files yet? The president claims he's the victim of a triple sabotage during his visit to the United Nations building in New York on Tuesday. The teleprompter wasn't working, there were issues with the sound system, and most nefariously of all, his escalator stopped.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Rosie O'Donnell adds her own spin, calling him out for transforming the Oval Office into the world's most chaotic reality show set. The difference is that in a real reality show, someone eventually gets voted off. Trump, on the other hand, has been rerunning the same episode for years, and the audience is stuck watching reruns of incompetence. Rosie treats his Twitter habits as if they're bedtime stories for dictators filled with bragging, whining, and bizarre nicknames that make even kindergartners cringe.
Defiance of the Constitution. You know, he's selling things from the office. He's taking money and gifts from other countries, the Emoluments Clause. He's breaking every law and every rule that we have in our country, and no one seems to be able to stop him.
Can you explain to me, though? I cannot believe that every Republican congressman or woman, every Republican senator is stupid.
Well, they're not stupid, but they're definitely afraid.
Kimmel doesn't stop at the social media circus. He dives right into the endless parade of photo ops, where Trump tries to look presidential but ends up resembling a wax figure left too close to a heat lamp.
Smithereens, and says it was ratings that got me fired. Has anyone ever been fired for bad ratings on a Wednesday? This was his big closer. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. And he does know bad ratings. He has some of the worst ratings any president has ever had. So, on behalf of all of us, welcome to the crappy ratings club, Mr. President. Next, he'll try to sue us. And I want to say good luck with that, because we thought about it, we packed the courts, and we have a surprise ace up our sleeve, Mr. Judge Steve Harvey. That's right.
Whether it's holding up a Bible like it's a TV remote he doesn't know how to use, or hugging the flag like it owes him rent money, every pose is pure comedy gold. Kimmel hammers the fact that every stage moment exposes how desperate Trump is to look powerful, yet somehow manages to scream insecurity louder than a middle school diary.
Says they think it was Trump's own videographer that accidentally kicked a safety mechanism, but Magatha Christie and his team of defective detectives They do not believe it. They are on the case. This was not just a minor incident. This was a harrowing escape.
Trump and Melania were riding it up, and it just stopped.
Thankfully, the First Lady and the President had their hands on the rail as they were going up the escalator.
I've never known an escalator to be stopped. I go on escalators all the time. That's when I'm happy.
You guys dropped the ball on Trump so much for this country that you guys, the mass media is to blame. To equate him and Hillary Clinton and act as though they were the same. To equate Hunter Biden and the billion-dollar criminal crime family Trumps is ridiculous. And you guys never did a Google search to say he was bankrupt 6 times. So when I said it on The View...
Rosie savors his rallies, pointing out that they're less political events and more like late-night infomercials where the product is his ego. The endless rambling, the self-promotion, the soundtrack of adoration. It all feels like watching a man sell expired diet pills while screaming about conspiracies. She emphasizes how he feeds off the crowd like a vampire who's allergic to facts, turning every grievance into applause and every wild exaggeration into gospel. For Rosie, the funniest part isn't the words themselves, but the way Trump convinces people he's the victim while living in the most luxurious house in the country.
That's interesting. How come we never heard from the hospital or the doctors? How come we never heard from anyone but his fake doctor, whose name he doesn't recall? I'm really flabbergasted at how much he gets away with. I really am. Don't let him get away with anything else, people. And come on, one of you young, hungry journalists, young, somebody in your 20s, just out of college, do a big piece on this. Make it a whole YouTube story.
Kimmel shifts to the financial messes that trail behind him like unpaid tabs at a casino. His history of bankruptcy, shady deals, and questionable loans gets turned into punchlines sharper than a tax audit. He notes how Trump bragged about being a successful businessman, but if his business empire were a sitcom, it would have been canceled mid-season for being too unrealistic. Trump Tower might glitter on the outside, but Kimmel suggests it should come with a warning label. Objects may appear richer than they actually are.
Every single day, he just grants my perception of him as correct by his actions, by his words, by his horrible Truth Social that is failing. And, he is the kind of person that is a grifter. And he is an evangelical preacher to people who believed that Celebrity Apprentice was true.
Kimmel adds another layer by tearing into the endless scandals, which pile up not like accidents, but like scheduled programming. She imagines a future classroom where students study his presidency the way they study natural disasters, as a warning, as an example of what happens when hubris collides with power. For her, the punchline is the legacy he feared most, that history's laughter will echo longer than his slogans.